I've enjoyed this. I've learned things I didn't know.
I have too. And it's always interesting to talk about old times. My dad built this Texaco service station in 1956. He was also a contractor. He ran the service station for several years. And back at that time, you know, when you go up to the service station, people would come out and wash your windshield. My dad was doing that. I was putting water in the radiator. I was 16. One guy was putting gas in, one guy was checking the tires. And this Texaco had a TV commercial where people come in out doing this. So it's out here on South Water, right after you cross the river up the tracks. And that was a good time, and we enjoyed it. And so, okay, that's me right there, the tall, skinny guy with the black hair. I was 16 years old, and my dad was the one up here washing the windshield. And there's an interesting story about the guy driving the A model. His name is Chill Cross, and his nephew is the one that come and talked to me last week and did the article in the paper. That was his nephew, and I gave him one of these pictures for his daddy, because his dad had been looking for one of these pictures for years. And so I gave him take it and make a copy of it. But those were the good old days. We had a lot of fun. And
Jill always had some nice cars.
yeah, and then I thought that was Chill's car, but his nephew said it was his Chill's dad's car, and he had been restoring it and stuff.
I remember he had a 56 Crown Vic.
Oh yeah.
That was kind of a, I don't know if it was pink or kind of a
Green
pumpkin looking
yeah.
color.
Yeah.
It was a real
Yeah.
kind of color.
Yeah.
And he drove that for years.
Yeah.
It was just immaculate.
And,
Absolutely immaculate.
and he was also a fantastic mechanic. And he worked for Stone's Wheel Alignment,
Yeah.
which is down here by Wendy's. And he did front end alignments. And so he was a good guy, good mechanic. And Randy, Dad, Stone's Wheel Alignment, and they did radiators, they do radiators.
About the only place here in town, seemed like right along there by Randy's record shop to the right, and it may be him, I don't know, but they did radiators there.
Yeah.
To the right of Randy's record shop right along in there.
You're right, well, in behind the Wendy's. I think that was the same thing. And of course, I remember Randy's record shop. It's a funny story. I went to Navy, and I was in California, and I was talking to some people, some of the other sailors, and one of them said, "Where are you from?" He was from Texas. And he said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Gallatin, Tennessee." He said, "Oh, Randy's record shop." And I didn't realize it at the time that it was so big. It was known all over the world. I mean,
It was the first mill on a record shop in the nation.
right.
I got all my records as a kid,
Yeah.
45s. Hang on, Sloopy,
Yeah.
Magic Carpet Ride.
Yeah, the music was a whole lot better back in them days, of course, because I know the younger generation would disagree with that, but the music is not anything today like it was back then. Those good days. But the people, I'm lost in the names. It was Hugh Jerry. I mean, no, he was the granddaughter. Who was the one of the disc jockeys here that did so much?
You talking about Jewel Hauser?
Well, actually, I went to school with Hugh Hauser. My mom and dad moved to Gallatin for 1 year, and I started school at the Howard School there, and then I moved back to Westmoreland, where I was originally from. But Hugh Hauser was going to school there. I was a little bit older than him. But the old shoe factory was there. I'd walk from where we lived to school, and my aunt always looking out the window, and surprised she didn't get fired, waiting for me to throw me a quarter out.
You know, Bill's passed.
Yeah,
His dad was a lawyer too.
Yeah.
They was right over across the
well,
street.
now his uncle is, when you get renew your license in your car up in Lafayette, his uncle runs that office.
Okay.
And I know him up there. Yeah,
I'm going to have to excuse myself. Can you actually get that? It's a class roster from 1945 from the old Howard School, and listing the boys and girls that were in the class, and the superintendent was V.G. Hawkins, Lewis Hart, B.J. Hawkins, and Knox C. Dawes. Now there's a school named for him, I believe, in Hendersonville.
There's also Hawkins School named after him.
Yeah.
Now, he was my principal at Guild Elementary when I was in school.
Yeah, that's from 1945.
And the reason I was talking earlier about there being a barber shop across the street, when I was a kid at J.J. Newberry's, me and another kid were sitting over there eating ice cream, and they changed how the traffic went around the square. I mean, it's gone every which way. At that time, you could go around the square this way, just opposite how it is now. There was a car that came around the square, and I mean, he was squealing tires, and I mean, we're like, what's wrong? You know, this guy's going crazy. And he ran into two cars on the other side of the courthouse, and clipped one right on the corner. And then there was some people from Florida in a Cadillac coming through town going this way, going east. And he hit them right in the back and ran them into a car that was parked right here in front of, at that time, was Sumner County Bank here on the corner. And then that car bounced off of them and hit Mr. Hawkins, the principal's car. And then the other car that they hit ran right into this car that was parked in front of the bank and just rammed it up into the bank. And had some kids in the car, and he was still in his car, and he was just gassing it. I mean, he had his foot on the accelerator, just burning the tires off of it. We come running out, there's like 5 cars that are wrecked. Well, Mr. Hawkins comes running out of this barber shop over here, still had the foamy stuff around his ears. He never even noticed his car had got hit. His got hit by the people from the Cadillac, people that was passing through. And everybody was over here because of all the excitement with the tires squealing and stuff. And John Bradley ran over here and was able to get the guy's foot off the accelerator. I think he had a heart attack. That's what had happened as he was going around the square. And so I told Mr. Hawkins, I said, what about your car? He said, oh, my car's fine. I said, no, it ain't, He looked over there, and of course, this Cadillac had just hammered his car in the back fender and messed it up pretty bad. So he went over there to see about his car. But that was a pretty wild story, for a kid to see all of that.
Well, you mentioned John Bradley. He had the bookstore.
At the bookstore, yeah.
Yeah, and his son at school together ran around together.
Well, Johnny was the one that was got the guy's foot off the accelerator.
Really?
The old man's son.
Yeah. So we went to school together.
It was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I want to say the man was a Creekmore, the guy that had the heart attack. I want to say his name was Creekmore was his name. But he did a lot of damage here on the square. It was pretty exciting. And none of the kids, they didn't get hurt. He was the only one that was, really hurt, but it was caused a heart attack.
Well, this barber shop you're talking about, was it a small building?
Yeah, real small.
I think it's my building.
Yeah, it was just right across the street over here.
That's where the water store is.
And that's where Mr. Hawkins come running out of, and his car was parked like right in front of it, and that Cadillac just hammered it, And Mr. Creekmore had hit it, and then ran across over here and hit the car parked in front of the bank that had the kids in it.
Mr. Hawkins,